Enlighten me more about Carl Jung.
Okay.
I remember back in college, I would read about Jung, and then even doing some exploration with philosophy and psychology again, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
I run across Jung's name all the time. So uh, get me up to speed on Jung, Carl Jung.
Okay, so context for myself. I am a student. I am no expert. I am no Jungian psychoanalyst. I'm just a student who is fascinated with these ideas, and like I said before, torturing myself with these books. So Jung was a Swiss psychologist, psychoanalyst, who wrote a lot of books, and he had a lot to say, a lot of super profound things to say about the human spirit. And his books are so strange. He was such a strange person. There's a great video. I'm going to recommend this video to your
Okay.
readers, listeners, by a content creator named Sisyphus 55.
Sisyphus 55.
Yes. On just look up Sisyphus 55 Jung, the modern shaman. I think that's the name of the video.
Okay.
A modern shaman. And he kind of was like a shaman. So I'll read you this quote from Jung, which is I think a little known quote. This is actually at the end of one of Sisyphus 55's
So
videos.
would you say, so Sigmund Freud is like the guy that popularized or made psychology, the study of like the human mind, credible,
Yeah.
and then Jung is after him, right?
Jung was after him, yes. And they were at one point colleagues, and they split off. I think Jung and Freud split off because Jung was more interested in religion and Freud wasn't. So I think when Jung was writing his book, Symbols of Transformation, that's when Jung and Freud split. So Freud is most
Okay.
popularized by nowadays the psychosexual stages of development. The thing with Jung and Freud is that modern psychologists like to discredit Jung and Freud because their ideas on the surface seem so strange. I mean, everybody remembers when they were in psychology classes and the only thing they learned about Freud was the psychosexual stages of development, and it seems so weird. Everybody's laughing because,
Yeah.
oh, we're talking about sex and we're talking about children. Like, what the hell? And then the same thing with Jung happens. Same thing happens with Jung. So I have a classical psychology textbook in my closet, and I only keep this thing because it pisses me off so much. And I like to refer to it. There is only one page about Jung in my psychology textbook. It's not even a page. It's a half a page. And it just says, Jung had some ideas about these things called archetypes. Could you think of what Jung archetypes are? Something that describes primordial behaviors of human beings throughout symbols of religion or something like that. Can you think of something else to describe these symbols? And it's like, no, you can't. You cannot think of something else to describe these symbols unless your name is Carl Jung, because he's so smart. And so it's so degrading to how Jung was. And it's like people who write these textbooks think we're stupid. And fair enough, because it's incredibly tough to understand Jung and Freud as well. Yeah, I mean, that's why you got to read their books and read them several times over, because they're so hard to understand. But there's a lot of stuff that he wrote that is very succinct and clear, and I really want to share this with you. This is from the Red Book, which is a more of a surface level book, I think written after Jung's death. There is only one way, and that is your way. There is only one salvation, and that is your salvation. Why are you looking for help? Do you believe help will come from outside? What is to come will be created in you and from you. Hence, look into yourself. Do not compare. Do not measure. No other way is like yours. All other ways deceive and tempt you. You must fulfill the way that is in you. So you can take that, and depending on who you are as a person, you could think that that's evidence that you should go rob a bank. Or you could think that that's evidence that you should do something that's useful for humanity.
Or it's the way what I got from it is
Yeah. What did you get from
it? Whatever you want or whatever you yearn for, there's only one way to reach that. And it's not from that person or that person or that person or that. It's from inside you, having the self-awareness and figuring out, okay, I'm a unique person, a unique individual. My circumstances are unique to myself. I have to navigate this through myself to get there. And I can use help along the way, but it comes down to myself.
That is the perfect summarization of that.
Yes.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rich Hebron. There is a wonderful short little article on brain pickings. You've read Brain Pickings, right? By Maria Popova. I think that's...
No.
Yeah. What? You've never read Brain Pickings?
No. There's a lot of books I haven't read, Paul.
No,
You'd
it's
be
a blog.
surprised.
It's a blog.
Okay.
It's a blog called Brain Pickings. It's wonderful. You're just the kind of person who would enjoy it. So she writes about other writers. So there's this article about Nietzsche. And Nietzsche has this quote that goes, I'm going to paraphrase this. You are the only person who can walk the bridge of your life. And that's another way of saying exactly what Jung just said.
Yeah.
It's like you can enroll people to help you. And nowadays I'm thinking about friendship as this kind of enrollment process where who do I want in my life who I can rely upon for spiritual help? And who can I rely on for help for creativity, for content creation? Who can I rely on for financial advice? Things like that.
Yeah.
Enrolling people to help you along the way. That's the true mark of friendship. People who would love to help you, to have you to fall back on. But you are the only person who is capable of making your life the way you want to make it. Nobody else can do it for you. So you're exactly right with that. And so Nietzsche, you're the only person who can walk that bridge, which is your life. And Jung is saying there is only one person who can decide your way, and that is you. Yeah. So that's one of his more clear things to understand. I mean, you got what it meant just in the first go around. I mean, I could open up one sentence from Symbols of Transformation and like, I have no idea what it means. Like, after all that has gone before, it is evident from this passage that the city, the heavenly bride who is here, promised to the son is the mother or mother imago. I mean, you need the context from the rest of it. That's not very fair, but it's a completely different subject matter than what's being discussed in that quote that I just mentioned to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's another quote?
Okay, so I got 9 of these. Okay, so here's a really good one. Actually, they're all really good. This ties, I'll kick one off by saying something that ties exactly into what you just said. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases.
Yeah.
So you could think that one lifestyle would fit you, but it's so constraining. It's squeezing you. You think that, well, to be successful, I need to be a salesman of insurance. Okay. You do that, but then you feel these constraints on your psyche, like you can't be creative anymore because you're selling insurance, and that's not who you are as a person. You might find some financial success doing that, but somebody else who's more inclined to sell insurance is going to benefit from that lifestyle. And that person, if they were to become a YouTube content creator, would probably hate it.
Yeah.
Now they're not able to sell insurance, which is what they love doing. So the shoe that fits one squeezes another. Let's see, what's another one? The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct, acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. The creative mind plays with the objects.
Interesting.
It loves. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like
look at that.
Thinking doesn't do. You can think all you want, but you have to play. You have to do.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. The work that feels like play to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that ties also, Jung and Nietzsche always tie together so well, like chocolate and vanilla or something like that. Nietzsche has this verse from Beyond Good and Evil that goes, mature manhood is to reinstate the seriousness that one had as a child at play.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
I know.
That's great.
Right? Yeah. Mature.
What's your favorite Nietzsche book?
Well,
Nietzsche.
I've only read 2 so far.
Okay.
And his autobiography is the one that's
What's that called?
I don't know how to pronounce it right. ECCE, Homo. That's it. That's the title.
Oh,
Ecce Homo. Not entirely sure how to pronounce that right.
okay.
But that and Beyond Good and Evil. Which my favorite so far? I don't have a favorite. I would say that his autobiography is the easier one to read of those 2. I mean, he wrote a lot of
Okay.
books. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
the seriousness that one had as a child at play.
That's good.
Yeah, that really
That's good.
clicked. I can tell. Yeah. The debt we owe to the play of imagination is incalculable. That's also from Jung. So yeah.
What is it? The debt we owe.
To the play of imagination is incalculable. So when you're doing this podcast right now, and when I'm doing mine, it's, you could call it work, but it doesn't feel like work. It's play. We're imagining it, but we're doing
play and work. It's
we don't have a word for it.
Yeah.
We're so used to calling work, we're so used to thinking about work as such. Clock in, clock out, do something we hate doing.
It's work. It's
Yeah. I know.
That's such an important part of life. If you can make your work play.
Yes.
Like I live with my creative partner now, and we're working all the time, but we're playing. So like our apartment, we've turned into like a creative studio, and we're just playing every single day. And we're doing work. It's crazy.
Right.